Hey, Ryan,
Yes,
it's been a while, sir.
it has, hasn't it?
We have been gone since November.
It's a
But
long time.
look, I will take full credit for that. I- Ever since the end of Unrelated at Birth, I have gone through a creative
hmm
mind block. It
hmm
happens. Being a podcaster is tough sometimes because coming up with a show every other week or every week or however long you do a show to come up with new and amazing creative content for people to watch or listen to, it drains you sometimes. Ryan, I want to say thank you for one, sticking with me, and two, uh, being there to help me. Like every week, you'd send me these pod deck inspirational quotes, and I appreciate that because while even though I was going through this, I don't want to call it a dark time because there was no dark issues in my life, but a dark creative time.
hmm
Even though I was going through those dark creative times, those posts helped me think and helped me get into a creative mojo. And here we are.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. And we hadn't even hit our theme song yet. I'm going to do that in a minute. We're just doing our pre show talk right now, live on the air, hoping people will come in and join and listen to us. So, right, how are things, man? You graduated since we talked last.
I did graduate from college after a 9-year stretch, and slow and steady always wins a race. And it's good to be graduated. It's good to be a graduate. It's good to be a champion. I even got my diploma in the mail, a few weeks ago to make it 100% official. I just need to go to our friendly neighborhood Michaels and get it framed. But other than that, yeah, I graduated, and now I'm just, going out of the real world, adulting, applying for jobs, finding stuff here and there where I can. And in the meantime, I'm just binge watching as much as I can, and I'm binge reading as much as I can.
You sent me a lot of stuff that you've been binging on.
It's been fun
Yeah.
recently.
Well, all right. So you ready to hit the theme song and officially kick this off the right
Let
way?
let's get back onto the grid.
All right. Well, man, you've got a lot of stuff. So behind the scenes, since it's been a while, I got kicked off of the Hanging with the Show server, and I had to get back on. And Unrelated Burst stuff got kicked off, and I'm now mooching off of the Ryan
Yeah,
side here banners.
yeah,
You've got a ton of stuff, my friend.
yeah. It's been a little busy around here.
Yeah, I can tell. All right. I found it finally, and now we are hitting the theme song. You ready, sir?
I was born ready.
Let's kick it. And welcome everybody back into another great, exciting, and wonderful Geek at Birth. As always, you've got the one, the only, the golden voice of the South, the human jukebox, Dave Adams, coming to you live and in living color, all the way from the top of the state of Alabama. That's right, in the Geek at Birth podcast studios. And as always, I have brought along my friend, the recent college graduate from the great white north of Maryland, the one, the only Ryan Permerson. Ryan, congratulations, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to be here. It's good to be back on this wonderful show with you and being a graduate and stuff. It feels good to be the champion. It feels good to be the champ. So,
I was going to say,
yeah,
the champ is here.
the champ is here. Yes,
I
I
can
am
actually
indeed
see
here.
this champ.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, you do. So yeah, it's great to be back. A lot of stuff has happened. A lot of things have transpired. A lot of projects, a lot of shows, a lot of great people I've been collaborating with. A lot of great people I continue to collaborate with, such as yourself.
Thank you, sir.
So it's great because they always say that it takes a teamwork to make a dream work, and I truly believe in that sentiment, and I believe in it since the day I pretty much started in podcasting. So it's been a blast. I mean, heck, we what is it? Myself and the team at Nerd Culture, we got ourselves a new sponsor too. So it's been
Oh, who's the
yeah,
new sponsor?
we're moving up in the world, man.
Who's the new sponsor? Go ahead and plug them.
Really, we haven't got it. Okay, fine. Any.
I mean, why not?
Why not? Why not?
Give them some free plugs.
I know if I can find it. Here it is. So, if you're looking for some killer, what do you call it, swag and stuff, check out our peeps over at theradbear.com and use that promo code NerdCulture10 for 10% off your order. They got nerd swag shirts from all kinds of fandom. As you can see here, we got some Power Rangers swag. We got Neverending Story swag. Yes, the Neverending Story from the 80s. And there's also a bunch of anime shirts. There's all kinds of stuff on there. So if you're looking for some nerd swag, check out our good friends over at theradbear.com. Use the promo code, and hey, you save some money and you get yourself some new clothes at the same time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily.
There's nothing wrong with saving money and getting some cool swag. I mean, we can't all wear Outsiders t-shirts.
Yeah, or Star Wars
or Star
hoodies,
Wars swag. You know, what's funny is I almost wore my Star Wars stuff too, because originally we were going to talk Boba Fett, but then I made you watch a certain trailer before we started, and I figured we need to do something that I think is cool, something that here we are, the first show of 2022, and it's the first year since all this crap has happened in the world.
Oof.
That movies will be released more than not directly to theaters and not HBO Max or Disney Plus or what have you.
Netflix.
Now, don't get me wrong. Netflix has had some bangers. Pardon to use my Gen Z term here. Netflix has had some bangers. The Rock and Ryan Reynolds movie.
Red Notice.
Yeah, Red Notice. The movie that is coming up with Ryan Reynolds, Adam. It's something. It's a new movie with Ryan Reynolds going straight to Netflix on March 11th.
Oh, nice.
I forget the name of the movie. That looks great. Don't Look Up was interesting.
Leo DiCaprio.
But don't get me wrong. There's something about going to a theater and watching a movie and getting excited as you're standing in line for popcorn or what have you.
In the theater with over 200 people, 200 screaming, yelling fans, fist pumps in the air during certain parts of a certain film, whichever film it may be. I can't comment or speculate. But yeah, it's going to be good to get back to that. What is it called? The communal experience?
Exactly. I went and saw, I'm sure most people did, went and saw No Way Home. And
broke some records, I heard.
Yeah. And when anybody, okay, if you haven't seen the movie, turn the volume down just a minute. But when you've seen it, right, Ryan?
No, but I've seen spoiler. People, I don't condone this, by the way. People have posted certain scenes of the movie on something known as online servers that I may or may not have visited. So I've seen a few things, not everything, but I've seen one or two things. And also a friend of mine and I had a discussion about it weeks ago, and she spoiled something pretty big for me. But I'm like, oh, they went that direction, huh?
Do I happen to know the said friend that is a wife of another podcaster?
No, this is actually a friend of mine from our good state of Virginia. So it's not the person you may be thinking of.
Yeah, because she did that as well. The person I'm speaking of,
probably.
Yeah, but anyway, so I was sitting there in the theater when that one thing happens. I'm not even going to say it's legit. I'm not going to be that guy, even though it's been spoiled to you. That one scene happens when we first see the big spoiler. The entire theater stood up and cheered, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was expecting it because it's the worst kept secret in all the movies, but But
It really was.
getting that feeling again, being in the communal theater,
Mm-hmm.
there's just something about it, man. I mean, it's stale movie popcorn, pouring a little bit of butter on it to make it better, seeing people's reaction to the scene that you're reacting to, it makes the movie that much better. Now, we all have our good stereo systems and surround sounds at home
Mm-hmm.
and 75-inch TVs, but there's something about that 110-foot screen, or it's not that big, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And being in the XD theater, or if you're lucky enough to live in a town that has a 4D theater, going to see a 4D movie. I'll be honest. Here we go. We're going to talk about all these movies because, as I said, it's time. 2022 has a lot of movies that are coming out,
Oh
and
yeah.
I've got my top 2 movies, and then one that I'm excited for, and then one we hadn't even aren't going to talk the trailer because the movie comes out in about 2 weeks.
Mm.
Robert, if you had told me I would be excited about Robert Pattinson playing in a movie 10 years ago, I would have laughed and said I'll never watch anything that stupid vampire guy makes.
Agreed.
But the
Agreed.
the just amazement I have seen at The Batman.
The Batman.
Holy hell.
The Batman.
This will be my favorite Batman movie, judging by the trailers.
Wow.
And that's saying a lot.
That's saying something, especially when he pummels a guy in the middle of the street in the first couple of trailers. So what exactly are you? I'm vengeance. It's like,
right.
Whoa.
So what I have read, and we're just going to jump into it. We're not going to talk the trailer of Batman. We did a little bit. But what I have read about the Batman is what they're calling it, this is young Bruce Wayne as Batman.
Very young.
And he is just becoming Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to deal with his anger issues,
his psyche,
and there has long been a Batman doesn't kill rule.
He's killed in every movie,
but has he?
Yes, he killed in Keaton's Batmans. He killed in what was it? The Batman, the Chris Nolan trilogy. I mean, come on.
He did not kill in Val Kilmer. He didn't kill in George Clooney.
Well, we don't talk about that fourth one, but Val Kilmer's fine. So
we don't talk about Bruno either. But
just anyway.
By the way, that sounds like it's been on repeat
killed.
In my house.
I mean, he killed like hundreds of people.
See, Batfleck, I think, is on the different side of Pattinson.
He killed him though.
Yeah, he did. Batfleck he's seen a lot of shit, man.
He's seen a lot of stuff in his life.
Right. And
that's a more darker, grizzled, like, turning 45-ish Batman. This one in this movie is like a 20-ish young year 1, year 2, partially based on the year 1 Frank Miller, I think it is, graphic novel, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So I'm looking forward to it because we've seen bits and pieces of his origin here and there, but we never really got like, what was his first couple of months? I mean, that's not true. We've gotten hints of it in Mask of the Phantasm.
And we saw Ra's al Ghul. That so in the first Batman, in
Batman Begins,
in the Christopher Nolan,
which is a great film, by the way.
Oh, it was amazing. We see where he becomes, like where he's learning to fight with
the League of Shadows,
right,
which is great.
What we don't really see is why a bat.
Yeah, why the detective all of a sudden?
Right, and I'm hoping that's what we get into with all this.
I can't wait. It's exciting. It's a great time to be a nerd right now. I think it's a great time to be a nerd of any shape or size or anywhere in the country, much less, or should I say the globe,
What I love now is it's okay, and this is how I normally end these shows, is it's okay to be a nerd, no matter what you decide to nerd out about. Be it music, be it sports, be it comic books, be it books, be it everything. It's okay to be a nerd, and there is wrestling. Why not? Woo! Yeah. Anyway, but there is never a better time now to be a nerd.
There's a lot of content coming our way.
Exactly. All right, so we've talked the Batman. That comes out May 4 or March 4th?
March 4th, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what it's funny? A quick side note about that before we move on to our next topic, because I know we only got a short amount of time. But I just got an email this morning, right?
Okay.
from a local comic shop here in our great state of the land of Mary, and it's in Annapolis. They're doing something called their first ever Batter Day. Batter Day.
Right.
On
Batter Day.
Saturday, March the 5th, the day after this new film is going to be released upon the earth, in theaters anyway. They're going to have Batter Day, where they're going to have comic book writer Tom King is going to be there. He's going to be doing a signing of his latest issue of the Batman series. It's currently going on with DC, and he lives in that area, so it's local for him.
Right.
So he's going to be there. They're going to be doing a signing in the morning, and then they're going to have Batman sales all day, and they're going to do this thing called the Batman Bundle, where if you walk in the door and you ask them, "Hey, I want the Batman Bundle. Let's go," you're going to get 3 different graphic novels and 3 different comic books that the staff has recommended for you as a part of the Batman universe, and you're going to get that for $39.99.
Wow.
Which I don't think is a bad deal. When you're getting 6 issues of different pieces of Batman content, including 3 graphic novels and 3 back issues, or whatever the case may be, that's a Batter Day to celebrate.
Are they? I wonder if they're going, The Killing Joke or one of those.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Death
one of
of
them's
Robin.
Killing Joke or what's the other one? Year
Death of
One,
Robin.
or The Long Halloween, Batman Hush. Any of those. So if anyone's in the area of Annapolis, Maryland, on Saturday, March the 5th, from I think it's 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. EST right over here. Go to your Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland, because it's going to be a lot of fun. On Saturday, March the 5th, it's called Batter Day.
That's awesome.
That sounds like fun, actually.
That sounds like so much fun, like something I would enjoy doing.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, you're more than welcome to get on your private jet, bring the kids, bring the wife, come on up here, pay us a visit in Annapolis. We'll take you up there. We'll go to the comic book store. We'll get some comics for the kiddies, and we'll have a bite to eat. How does that sound?
Because I have a private jet. Because I'm made of money, Ryan.
Yes, you, the missus, the children, like the kids. You're going to come up here. You're going to hang out with us in Maryland. We're more than happy to have you, by the way.
Hey, my wife would go crazy because she loves crab cakes.
Oh, she does.
She can eat some crab cakes, man. She can put some crab cakes down. Anyway, all right, back on track. Yeah. So, all right. So, March 4th.
March 4th.
Batman.
Only a few weeks away.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Dude, it's coming in hot. By the way, I will tell you one movie not to go see. Moonfall.
Really? Because that's been all over the internet for the last couple of weeks.
It was a poor man's excuse for Armageddon.
Oh, so it's an Armageddon ripoff. Okay.
It's an Armageddon ripoff.
Because I've seen that movie.
And then even more becomes like the worst sci-fi movie I've ever seen.
And you got a big name cast in it too, with Patrick Wilson, Halle Berry's in it.
Yeah. It starts off hot,
and then it just goes downhill.
Just simmers. It's bad.
All sizzle and no steak.
It's really bad here, especially here in Huntsville, because we're big NASA here in this town.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be such a great movie. It's going to be awesome."
We went in it.
Yeah, me and my wife went and saw it opening weekend, and
really? Wow.
I left the theater telling my wife, "You are not allowed to pick a movie anymore."
Oh,
it was that bad, that bad, sir. So let's get to some. All right, so we could do it this. We could do this in 2 different ways. Mm-hmm. Do we want to go in release order? If we do it that way, the biggest trailer on this list would be first. Or do we want to go in kind of go from third to first in sizzle?
Oh my goodness. Oh, man, I'm in Vegas. I got to place a bet. You know what? Dealer's choice. Pick whatever you want.
You know what? It's fresh on your mind. So let's talk it.
Okay.
May 6th.
Oh, May 6th. Yeah.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
From Sam Raimi, no doubt.
Sam Raimi, who made the best Spider-Man trilogy. So
I would agree with that.
Don't get me wrong.
That is a bit of a hot take, though, because everyone's in love with Tom Holland right now. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you wouldn't get Tom Holland if it weren't for Toby, okay?
Right.
Let's just make that clear.
Here's my other hot take. I actually enjoyed Spider-Man 3.
Wow.
I wasn't upset with it. I wasn't upset.
There are bits and pieces of SP3 that I am okay with, but overall, the movie was just. And it wasn't Sam's fault. Sam had it was the studio's interference. So it's because
Right.
the studio interfered with it so much. Spider-Man 3 ended up like a dud. But listen, Sam Raimi, I'm happy you're back in the game, and you're back with Doctor Strange Part 2. What better way to welcome you back into the comic book movie franchise fold than with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Because you've made some weird, twisted films in your career, sir. Look at Evil Dead.
Yep.
I mean, you made Darkman for Pete's sake. So you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Oh, and we got nuts. So
That's what Sam Raimi's here for.
Ryan, you're 20 minutes off of watching the trailer.
Fresh off the boat, yeah.
So let's get your hot takes. Let's hear your thoughts.
Okay, well, first of all, I like the first Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
I like Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor. I think he's great in this role. I think he's great as Doctor Strange because this is a character that's maybe not as well known as some of the other characters some of us may have grown up with as kids. So it's good to see, other characters getting their time in the sun. How do I feel about this new trailer? I mean, I'm still going to see the movie. I'm intrigued. I want to see it because I like the first one, and I want to see what happens to Doctor Strange as he battles new enemies. Baron Mordo is coming back, played by the one and only Chiwetel Ejiofor is back. And listen, he's got dreadlocks now. He's got long hair. A lot has happened between 2016 and 2022. So, can you believe it's been over 6 years since we've seen a Doctor Strange movie? That is insane.
Let's not talk about that.
That's a long wait, Marvel. I'm just saying. Yep. But look forward to seeing it. I'm intrigued. I want to see what's going on in this multiverse because I don't really understand the multiverse stuff because I'm one of those who hasn't read all the comics. I mean, granted, most movie-going audiences would agree, but at the same time, I'm intrigued. And plus, I'm just glad that not only is Benedict coming back and Chiwetel is coming back, and of course Wong is back, but what's her name? The love interest. The love interest.
Oh, Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. Thank you. We get to see Rachel McAdams come back. Girl, where have you been, honey? You're such a good actress. You got talent.
She died.
Well, but you mean she died as part of the Thanos, snap, you mean?
No, she died in like the reason he becomes Doctor Strange is because she dies in the car crash that makes him Doctor Strange.
But that didn't happen in the first film.
Yes, it did. It happened in the very beginning.
I don't remember her dying in the first Doctor Strange movie. I remember her tending to his wounds and helping him through the rough times, and then she's still there at the end of the first movie. So
really,
you may want to get your facts straight because I'm pretty sure her character. Rachel McAdams, it's killing me.
It's Christine Palmer. Christine Palmer. I just looked it up.
Yeah, she's still alive. After the first movie, she is. I mean, she may have gotten snapped during the Thanos snap, but then once everything was reversed and everyone was brought back to life, she's alive. I mean, of course, we see her in this trailer. Spoilers, but
so here's why. Have you seen the What If trailer or the What If TV shows?
Oh, you mean the What If series? Right. No, I've not seen that.
Okay, so part of what he does and why he becomes this evil Doctor Strange in another multiverse.
It's because she died.
Right. She dies and he tries to bring her back and bend the time continuum.
The space-time continuum, as our good friend Doc Brown would say.
Right. Great Scott. So that's what makes me think that she died in the first movie.
No.
But okay, I'm must be out of it then.
You must be out. I mean, well, listen, you've been through a creative, dark time, as you put it. So you know what? You may have missed a few things while you've been away, but it's all right. That's why I'm here. And I have the first Doctor Strange movie on Blu-ray, so if I need to refresh my memory, I can always just rewatch.
Well, I got it on Disney Plus. I can always watch it. Anyway,
so anyone's got DP.
The one thing that you were shocked about is how would they bring the voice into it?
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen the trailer,
spoilers
if you haven't, but Doctor Strange gets led into this room.
This meeting room or this chamber room or something
by a group of what looks like Ultron, but I will tell you it is not Ultron. It's a group of Iron Men, smarter Iron Men.
Jeez.
And it will not be RDJ. It will be, and it's almost been confirmed. I've seen some spoilers. It will be Tom Cruise.
Oh wow.
as a different multiversal Iron Man.
Well, he was almost cast as
Right.
Iron Man back way, way, way back in the day. So it makes sense. They're kind of paying. They're doing a wink and a nod to saying, "Hey, Tom Cruise almost became, Iron Man before RDJ was heavily pushed. I might add by what was it, John Favreau, to put him in the movie as a title role. So hey, look, kudos to John Favreau because RDJ just. I mean, I don't see RDJ as anything but Tony Stark now.
Right.
He just embodies that role, even though
I
he's
could
dead technically.
I could see now. I think this because of Multiverse of Madness, we will see him maybe come back.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised because it is different multiverses, different iterations of the character are going to be introduced. So I get it.
Yeah. So the reason I was bringing this up, and here I'm about to. Whoa! I just brought you big.
I
Uh,
know why I'm on the big screen. I didn't know I was that big a star yet. Jeez,
Sorry, sir.
I haven't paid my dues yet. I got to go to the Huntsville Comic Expo one of these days.
Yes, sir. So here's what we're doing. All right. So what you see is the Marvel Illuminati.
Ah, yeah.
And
Someone,
the Marvel
someone
Illuminati is made up of the brightest minds across the multiverse.
that's a lot of smart people.
So if you zoom in, and I can't on here, but if you zoom in, you will see three different silhouettes. This
Hmm.
one here, you see my mouse, right?
Yeah,
This one here is rumored to be Tom Cruise's Iron Man, or Tom Cruise's Iron Man.
that's going to be so crazy to see.
This one here
Mm-hmm.
is a lady figure.
Hmm.
That is Captain, or what's her name?
You mean Carter?
Captain Carter, right? So Captain
Peggy?
Britain or whatever they call her in here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Peggy Carter.
Wow, she's
So
man, she must be uber smart to be sitting on that council.
yep. What is her name? Why can I not remember her name?
It's Peggy Carter.
Well, no, but what is she? It's Captain Marvel, Captain Carter. That's right.
Yeah.
Um,
You're good.
and then the other one you see here standing up is none other than Reed Richards.
Hmm.
So
Oh, Reed Richards. That's Fantastic Four talk
Fantastic
right there.
Four. So there's a couple of questions. Will this be the original Fantastic Four Reed Richards? Or will this be one Jim Halpert?
Hmm.
Krasinski, John Krasinski.
I was gonna say, who are we talking about? But
Yeah,
yeah,
John.
everyone's been fantasy casting the lovely couple, which by the way, one of the best looking Hollywood couples that has ever hit the entertainment industry of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Reed Richards and Sue Storm.
Yep.
Would I like to see that happen? Sure, but is it gonna happen? It's not my decision. It's up to the executives. If they think it's right, then they'll listen. Pretty much 9 times out of 10, they've casted the right people aside from that whole Aunt May debacle. That was nuts. But
Yeah.
that was just crazy. But at the same time, Marvel 9 times out of 10, where they've made a mistake here and there. But other than that, 9 times out of 10, they've hit it out of the park. So if it's Krasinski and Emily Blunt coming out of the shadows as Reed Richards and Sue Storm, listen, people have been fantasy casting these two for years.
The other rumor,
Years.
the other rumor is since we're going to get multiverse, we're going to see multiple of these superheroes.
Oh, that's true.
The
So there could
other
be different
rumor,
casting choices.
well, here we go. Chris Evans is going to reprise his role as the Human Torch.
Oh, God. Oh.
Which, if that happens, do we get to see Michael Chiklis back as the Thing?
As Ben Grimm,
Yeah.
listen. I'd be okay with it. Listen, people throw those two films under the bus, but look.
Oh, dude.
Say what you will about the second one. I mean, I know the second one had issues. Don't get me wrong, but I still enjoyed both of them for different reasons, especially the first one. I thought it was a decent, pretty good origin story. And plus, who was it? Julian McMahon as Doctor Doom. He was
Julie McMahon
perfectly
was
cast.
a perfect casting for Doctor Doom.
He was perfectly cast as Victor Von Doom, and wearing that suit and the green. What was it? The green hoodie and the cape. I'm like,
Yep.
dang, that's like right out of a comic book.
It was comic accurate. It was the most comic accurate villain we have ever seen. I'm going to say.
Listen, it looked fine to me. And by the way, who was it? Morpheus, I believe. Lawrence Fishburne as the voice of Silver Surfer. That wasn't bad casting either.
No, it was. It was great. But we haven't gotten through the biggest spoiler I think we saw in this trailer.
Which is
The
Patrick Stewart.
voice. If you listen to the voice, it is
Very closely.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Does that mean he's our good friend Charles Xavier?
And we will finally, by what I have heard, now this is just rumor and innuendo, but by what I have heard is we'll finally get Professor X in the floating chair.
Ooh. Well, I mean, we got it, or at least we got bits and pieces of it in X-Men: Days of Future Past, which, by the way, that's my favorite X-Men movie that's ever been
Oh,
made.
it's so good.
It's the best X-Men movie we've ever gotten. I mean, listen, I don't count the Logan Deadpool films because those are spin-offs of certain characters, so that doesn't count. But as far as X-Men movies go, Days of Future Past is yeah, it's the cream that rises to the top. Yeah, the cream of the crop. And by the way, if you watch the theatrical cut or the road cut, you're still getting two great films. Like, period. It doesn't matter what version you want. Which, by the way, have you noticed that on television, every time X-Men: Days of Future Past airs, they're airing the road cut now?
I did not know that.
Yes, they are airing the rogue cut of X-Men: Days of Future Past, which is fine with me because I like both versions for different reasons. But I definitely like the rogue cut because it adds a little bit more to certain characters, and we get that subplot with Rogue and why she's been missing and how she's using her powers and stuff. Like, I like that. I liked it. I like it a lot. So
here's the other rumor, since you brought up Logan and Deadpool and all that
jazz.
There is some talk that we might see Hugh Jackman, and that we'll finally see a very talked about sort of X-Men character, sort of not, finally make his MCU debut. Ryan Reynolds is heavily rumored to be making Deadpool in this movie.
So in other words, we're going to get like 50 billion characters in this movie, just like we've gotten in some of the other MCU films over the years. Great.
Yes.
That means we got to keep track of all this stuff. It's going to be so much fun taking notes.
So what this is going to be is this is basically going to be one of those team up movies from, how
like Civil War.
Well, yeah, how DC does the Arrowverse. This is probably going to be something along those lines.
Like Crisis on Earth X.
Right, exactly. So all of these multiversal characters will meet up and
crash into each other.
I am looking forward to Strange v. Strange, though.
Oh, you mean the alternate? Yeah. When he looks at your eyes and he says, "Things got a little out of hand." Like, ooh, that's like a Joker version of Doctor Strange. I want to see how nuts and bizarre he's going to get with that version, because we know Benedict Cumberbatch has range. Yes. This guy has range. He can play cute and bubbly. He could be a family man in some Paddington film or whatever. Like, this guy can go full on nuts. I mean, look at him as Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness. He went nuts.
If you talked earlier about Robert Downey Jr. and to just be Iron Man in your book.
Well, yeah, because he embodies the role.
To me, Doctor Strange or Benedict Cumberbatch is getting close to becoming Doctor Strange in my mind, but he will always be Sherlock Holmes to me.
And that's a good series too.
It's a great series, but
which I've seen all the seasons of.
It's awesome. Benedict Cumberbatch needs to do something to become Doctor Strange and not Sherlock to me. It's getting close.
Awfully close.
I will say this, though. I was very upset that in either Infinity War or
Endgame,
that when Benedict and Downey Jr. looked at each other, one of them didn't go elementary. Just
as a wink and a nod
to, hey, we both played Sherlock.
We played this character in different franchises at different periods of the timeline.
Yeah.
Which I hear they're still trying to make a Sherlock 3 with RDJ and Jude Law. I don't know how that's happening.
Doesn't need to work because the second one was just not good.
Oh, really? That bad, huh?
I mean, I like that series, but it's not. It's nothing compared to the BBC.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you had to compare the two hypothetically, I would choose Benedict's version of the character over RDJ any day of the week.
Hands down, and miles better than Lucy Liu and the CBS.
Really, I liked Elementary with Johnny Lee Miller.
It was good, but nowhere near BBC and the movie. Anyway, all right, we're getting off track. It's been 2
We're too good
months,
at that.
and we are good at going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's been many months since the two of us have been in a studio together. So we have a lot to catch up on, both in front
Yes,
of a camera and behind the scenes.
we do, But all right, so now we move on from Doctor
Strange.
Strange. So
Yep.
before we do, let's go out of 10. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. How much did that trailer make you want to see the movie?
Oh, I mean, the teaser trailer was just great, but this new one, scale 1 to 10, probably give it an 8.
I'd say that's 10 out of 10 in my book. I was not prepared for it to drop during the Super Bowl, and my jaw just dropped.
I mean, the Super Bowl drops like 50 trailers a year.
You are correct, but I was prepared for it to not be a new commercial.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
Because there were other trailers that dropped during the Super Bowl as well, so that makes sense.
Right. All right, so let's talk about the one small one here. We've already mentioned Tom Cruise. We finally get Top Gun Maverick, May 27th.
God.
This movie has been supposed to come out for 2 years. It was supposed to come out in May of 2020.
That's what the original trailer said, that specifically. In 2020, so-and-so's coming out with Tom Cruise. I'm like, yep, I'll be there. IMAX, baby.
I will be watching this in IMAX, and I will probably have rewatched the original Top Gun 2 or 3 times before. That's one of my favorite movies. I always wished, when I was single, that me and my friends would have gone and done that the "You Never Close Your Eyes" scene in a bar.
Oh, the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah, well,
you've lost that love and feeling.
Excuse me, ma'am. Is he bothering you?
Oh, you mean pull the trick on the women in the bar?
Yeah. I wish we had done that.
Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of this.
Yeah, but
you
it
never close your eyes anymore when I kiss
your lips.
Anyway, but dude, I wish you would have done that, and then I wish someone would have had a camcorder back then and taped that.
Look, and if anybody would have done it, it would have been me. I promise you that. I never had a golden moment to do it. But I am excited to see how we're going to bring Iceman back in the fold, because Val Kilmer isn't Val Kilmer anymore. I mean, he is.
He's had health battles over the years with throat cancer. Yes,
right.
And I've had the pleasure of meeting Iceman not once but twice in person.
Oh wow!
Very nice. Yes, very nice man. I had him. The first time I saw him, I said, I need to have you sign my Batman Forever DVD. Grew up watching that movie religiously. Second time I saw him, I said, listen, I need you to sign this 8x10 of you and Maverick fighting in the locker room, and I want you to write to Ryan, I don't like you because you're dangerous. And he signed it just like that.
Oh,
Val Kilmer, quote unquote, Iceman. And I was like, goals done. Have the 8x10. It's over here in my collection if you want to see it somewhere down the line. But nice guy. He did talk a little bit, even though he was still struggling with his throat cancer situation. I said, listen, I liked you as Batman. I liked you as Iceman. You did a great job. Thank you for doing it. He's like, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. And then I got a picture with him later that day, and I was like, done. Finished.
Oh, dude, that is awesome.
Nice guy.
I've heard nice things about him, and it's really cool because we're finally getting another theatrical version of Riddler coming up too. That makes me bring to mind the whole Batman Forever.
Yeah, with Batman Forever, that's right.
Which, by the way, Jim Carrey is the best Riddler. But how are they going to bring Iceman back in the fold? That's my question. And will Tom Cruise be the old teacher who is trying to wrangle in the new Maverick?
So basically, he's going to be the new Viper.
Right, exactly.
He's going to be the Tom Skerritt character that says, your ego's right, checks your body can't cash, flies by the seat of his pants. He's completely unpredictable. He got you, didn't he? So it's just,
which will be awesome. Here's the question.
Looking forward to seeing that.
How are we going to bring Kelly McGillis back in the fold?
Yeah, Kelly McGillis is Charlie. I'm very curious to see how that goes down, because we know that Maverick is married to Jennifer Connelly's character in the trailers. They seem to be lovers, or they're married, or whatever. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why aren't you married to Charlie from the first one? What happened?
Have you seen what she looks like lately?
I may have seen something here and there. Listen,
I mean, no, we all get old. We all age.
Mm.
Some don't age gracefully.
Hey.
But Charlie Blackwood.
Look, if she makes a cameo, she makes a cameo. I'm not going to shy away from it.
Right. But how are they going to how are they going to go from Jennifer or Kelly McGinnis to Jennifer Connelly?
It's a good question. By the way, Jennifer Connelly, what are you drinking? Because you don't seem to age all that much.
Never. Look,
What the
look,
deal?
go
What's
watch
the deal?
the
What's the
Rocketeer to now.
dude? That movie just turned 30 last year, which is nuts.
So my former co-host of my former show, Unrelated Birth, Adam Russell, huge Rocketeer guy. Like he collects
all the comics, all the toys,
all the comics, all the toys. Like even to the point where he has the old cassette tape with like the books and stuff. And
the storybook. Yeah.
Yeah. I told him, I said, Adam, the last thing you need is a movie prop or a movie script or something like that. He went on and found it's like $1,500. He can't do that right now.
15 for the original script. Jeez, that's a lot of money.
It is, but imagine having a screen use script
that was used by, who was it? Bill Campbell, Jennifer Connelly, and former James Bond himself, Timothy freaking Dalton.
Exactly.
Who, by the way, he was a good villain in that too.
He was. He was. I actually know somebody that has a screen used rocket pack too.
Ooh, I'm jello of that.
Yeah, he spent a lot of money on it.
That must have cost him a lot of coin.
It did. But anyway, so yeah, Jennifer Connelly must have made a deal with the devil because
she hasn't aged much since the last time. One of the last times I saw her was in the 2003 Ang Lee's Hulk movie.
Yep, she looks about the same.
About the same as she did back in 2003 in the Ang Lee Hulk film. Interesting.
Lucky woman.
Seriously, yeah. And by the way, congrats, Jennifer Connelly, for staying ageless, and also congrats on the 30th anniversary of Rocketeer, because that was my introduction to you, young lady, as an actress. Ooh, Nelson. Yes, Rocketeer, beautiful love interest in that film, I must say.
All right, so that's Top Gun Maverick. I'm super excited about that.
Oh, you're going to be there opening weekend, yeah.
Oh, I'll be there opening night.
Opening night, excuse me.
Yeah, if we don't get, the fly into the danger zone.
Can we get some Kenny Loggins in there?
Oh, we have to.
Can we do that in the opening credits like they did back in '86? Is that a possibility?
Have to.
Or the Harold Faltermeyer score? Yeah. What about Playing with the Boys? Can we get the Kenny Loggins Playing with the Boys? Because we do see a football scene in the trailer.
Huh. But it was volleyball in that. And
oh, no. I guess they're playing football in this new movie. Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that because it's just not as cool. But anyway, so we got Top Gun Maverick May 27th.
May 27th.
And then a few short days later, like 2 weeks, Jurassic World Dominion. And I love how this trailer and this movie, judging by the trailer, is going to put a nice bow on the entire franchise.
All 6 movies
will just be all tied up. And I'm going to quote a friend of mine here, Vance Cope, who said, "Am I the only one that hopes the dinosaurs win?" Honestly, at this point, we humans were dumb to recreate twice. And how are we to say, no, dinosaurs can't live here again? I mean, it seems like dinosaurs are taking over, and I truly think it's going to end as a warning. I mean, it is science fiction. This will never happen, but or will it? Because they found a fossilized mosquito. But I do think this is going to end as a warning. A Planet of the Apes style ending.
Yeah.
But we get the original cast from the first 3 movies. And we get the cast from the last 3 movies, or last 2. This is the 3rd. If you had told me when they rebooted and became Jurassic World, I thought surely this is going to flop. Because Jurassic Park 3 sucked. Let's call a spade a spade. It sucked. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It sucked. I thought that was a dead franchise.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it should have become a franchise to begin with. It's a one and done film, because once you learn your lesson at the end of the movie, and then what's his name? Alan Grant looks at the Richard Hammond and he says, "We've decided after careful examination not to endorse your park. It's over." And then they just drive the Jeep off, and I'm like, duh. Like, you
Well,
learned your lesson, dude.
what was it? Lost World was number 2, and that
That
wasn't
was the
bad.
second one, and that had Jeff Goldblum come back, but not the other two. Well,
Right.
no, Richard Hammond came back as well as Jeff Goldblum, so it was Richard Attenborough and Jeff Gold and the two kids. The two kids make an appearance too in the second one. But after that, it was like, the only people we can bring back is Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler in a cameo, and then that was the end of the trilogy at the
Yep.
time. At the time.
But we get the entire living cast.
Yeah, because unfortunately Attenborough is no longer with us.
Right. Here's my question. And this is something that I kind of wish they had retconned. The daughter the young girl that was in the original Jurassic Park movies.
Oh yes, yeah, Lexa, yeah.
Why are we not led to believe that she is Bryce Dallas Howard or whatever her name is?
Yeah.
The main character in the Jurassic World. Why are we not led to believe that that's who that is? That would have been a great tie to connect. Yes, it's dinosaurs, but that would have been a great tie to connect both of these series, unless they plan on bringing that character and that actress back for this movie.
To tie it all up, they could bring the two kids back. You know, Joseph Mazzello played the boy, and then I forget, Ariana Richards was the girl. That's right. So,
right.
Man, I'm just so good at bringing these random names
You
up.
are.
Jeez,
man,
I can't remember. I'm still remembering these days. It's crazy. But then again, Joseph Mazzello was in one of my kid movies as a kid. He was in that movie Star Kid.
Yep.
Back in the 90s. So that's one of the reasons I remember him so well. Maybe not so much Ariana Richards. But then again, Ariana Richards has been mentioned on social media here and there. But if they bring him back, great. If they don't, hey, that's fine too. Because you got Goldblum lighting it up as he always does. You got Alan Grant with a grizzled beard, so you can tell that it's been over 30 years since the first film. And Laura Dern is showing a bit of her. Nothing against Laura Dern, but she has shown a bit of her age here and there.
She's getting old. I mean, let's say I looked it up now. She was born in 1967.
Good Lord.
Sam Neill was born in 1947.
Jeez, that's crazy. That is nuts. That's nuts. And then Jeff Goldblum, what is he, like 50-something, 60-something? Anyway.
He is,
those three actors coming back. Listen, they brought you back the nostalgia feels with Hammond's narration over the course of the trailers, like, creation is an act of sheer will. And I'm like, bringing back the Attenborough monologue from when he's sitting down in the cafe with Ellie Sattler during the middle part of the first film. You get grizzled Alan Grant looking at, it's like, Ellie Sattler, Alan Grant, you coming or what? And they're like, yep, we got to go. And then Jeff Goldblum's like, we have no ownership here. This is Dominion. And it's like, duh. So it's
yeah. By the way, just looked up Ariana Richards. The last movie she was in was Battle Dogs, 2013.
I never even heard of Battle Dogs. Was that a Sci-Fi Channel original movie?
I don't know, but okay, so she doesn't act much anymore. Battle Dogs, 2013. Tremors 3.
Oh, that's right. Back to Perfection. I remember that now. Yeah, she was in that as the mature version of herself. By the way, that's kudos to her for coming back for Tremors 3, because I actually like Tremors 3. I like the original Tremors trilogy. Anything after 3, I never saw the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th one, I think it was. But man,
she was in a movie called The Princess Stallion in 1997.
Interesting.
That's it. Her big role was Jurassic Park, and that's it, really.
Well, I mean, Tremors was kind of a big fish for her too. I mean, it's the lesser of the two, but at the same time, Tremors is that's a long-going franchise.
I take it back. She was the lead role in the movie Prancer.
The original back in the day?
1989 Prancer.
That was, wait a minute, was she the, no, she wasn't the lead. She was the lead girl's best friend. I remember
Carol Weatherby.
She was the lead girl's best friend in that movie. I remember Prancer as a kid. There was a blonde girl. She was the friend of the female lead in the movie. She was the friend. So, oh my Lord, Ariana. Wow, Prancer, Dave. Prancer. That is going way back in our time machine. When you hit 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious stuff.
She was basically she was not doing much of anything.
God, Prancer is a throwback. Sam Elliott was the father in that movie.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did not, actually.
Yes. Thunderbolt Ross from Ang Lee's Hulk was the Faja in the original Prancer movie.
Look, see, Sam Elliott to me is I've been watching
the same age.
I've been watching 1883, the Yellowstone prequel.
Oh, that's the prequel, isn't it?
and he plays a old rugged cowboy.
How's that
And
show going, by the way?
oh, dude,
1883.
it's awesome.
Is it really
Although
good?
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill could have been better. I mean, I appreciate their attempt at
Hmm.
acting. Um,
It's not very
Tim's
good, is it?
Tim's a good actor. Faith, not so much.
God.
I appreciate their style though. And let's just say that much.
1883. Wow, so
Yeah.
many throwbacks here.
Yeah. So there you go. Jurassic World.
Dominion.
Dominion. I will
Do we
be
have a
there
release date? When is that coming out again?
June 10th.
Oh, June 10th. So it's prime summertime.
Yep. And then, so there are a lot more trailers, and we got to wrap up here. I'm looking at the clock. There are a lot more trailers, a lot more things to get excited about coming up. There will be Thor: Love and Thunder,
Yeah, I'm not really excited for that.
but you got to watch it for Phase 4.
Mm,
There's
not ex-
supposedly the new um, Black Panther is coming out this year.
Oh yeah, what is it like? Return to Wakanda or
Yep.
King of Wakanda? I think it's called.
We get Creed 3,
Oh, Creed 3 is coming out.
which
Okay.
I'm a huge Rocky fan and I'm excited about.
I did love Creed 2.
The entire Creed series has been awesome,
Hmm.
and I'm sure I'm forgetting a ton more movies. In fact, let me pull up my Rotten Tomatoes app here on my phone
It's probably
and look.
50,000 other movies.
Yeah, well, just look at the coming soon. Let's see what we got here.
Jeez, Creed 3, that's going to be
Yeah, I'm not saying the Batman that's up here.
They got to drop a trailer for Creed 3 at some point because I haven't seen anything for that movie.
Well, they don't really do trailers that much for that. I mean, we get one usually, and that's
Mm,
about it. Are you excited about the new Sonic?
not really.
Yeah, me
I haven't
neither.
even seen the first one. I don't really care.
It wasn't horrible.
Mm.
But there are a ton of movies. I'm sure people listening or watching are probably yelling at their screen saying, "Oh, what
It,
about this? What about that?"
it's called sequelitis.
Yeah,
That's what's coming up this year. It's sequelitis, maybe a little bit of rebootitis with Top Gun Maverick being a sequel slash reboot. You got Jurassic World Dominion being a franchise wrap up. Which, by the way, when that trailer said that it's going to wrap up the Jurassic era, I'm like, oh, thank God you're not going to push it to like Fast and Furious 20.
God,
So,
yeah, that needs to stop too.
ugh.
Are you excited about Uncharted?
I've seen the trailers for that, and to be quite honest with you, no, because it just looks like Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg in a movie together. It doesn't look like they're playing characters; they're just playing themselves as meta.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of meta,
Meta.
there is a movie about Nick Cage in it, but
Oh yeah.
Nick Cage is playing himself
Yes.
as people perceive him.
Hmm.
I am so excited for that movie.
Is the trailer out for that?
It is.
Okay, then I got to go online and watch that because I haven't seen the trailers for that yet.
It's it's everything you want it to be and more.
That sounds like fun.
Yep.
I like Nick Cage too, so I got no problems with that.
We need to end on a sad note, but a very
Bittersweet.
bittersweet note.
Yeah.
You have yet to see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
But I did a rewatch of the original two, and I forgot how funny the first one, especially, is just.
Even the second one, it gets crapped on a lot.
Well, here's the thing. I rewatched it just last night for the first time in like 30 years, and I watched it and I thought, you know what? This movie's okay. It's fine, but it's missing a lot. It doesn't. It's not the same. The first one is so good, whereas the second one's just like eh. And by the way, your hero is only as good as your villain. Vigo the Carpathian,
Yeah,
not
that
a very
wasn't
good
great.
villain.
But
It's not a very good villain.
as good as Ghostbusters,
Good soundtrack though.
oh, great. As good as Ghostbusters 1 was,
It's the best.
Ivan Reitman or Ivan
Reitman.
made a perfect wrap up in
Mm.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I've heard good things about it.
I will admit I'm a 40-year-old man and I cried in the theater.
Really?
There are touching moments, there are hilarious moments,
Mm.
and it is a perfect trilogy wrap up as well as a perfect reboot.
Hmm.
I have never seen a more perfectly done movie that waited 20 years to be remade. Um, the new actors played their part great.
The kids, yeah.
The kids were great. Paul Rudd was amazing. Um, Once again, worst kept secret. The living cast was great. Um, you'll once you see it, you'll know what part I cried in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I cannot thank Mr. Reitman enough for the perfect movie that he made and the impact he had on my life as a child growing up playing with the Ecto 1 in my house, my little toy Ecto 1. My grandmother sewed me a brown jumpsuit.
Yeah, the
I had a
jumpsuit, yeah.
I had a patch. I had the toy that looked like a Nerf gun.
The
That
proton pack.
the proton pack. We would go around, run around our yard. Me and my brother would run around our yard wearing those, just imagining who that we were Ghostbusters. My dog, it was a basset hound at the time. We would chase her around the house with the proton pack. I had the original firehouse. I had the
Oh,
slime. I wish I still had all these toys. I don't. I played with them so
that's
much
a bummer.
they were destroyed. I had
Oh,
the slime, and we would slime the toys, and I had the Slimer with the pizzas and
oh
all
yeah,
that
the
stuff.
Ecto Cooler or the Kool
Yep,
Aid, whatever it was.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
man.
Unfortunately, we're talking about Ivan Reitman in the past tense. He did pass away Super
75.
Bowls at 75 Super Bowl Sunday. What
Wow,
I find amazing
what a legacy.
is he tried for 20 years to make Ghostbusters 3.
Mm, it's a
It
long time.
it finally took Dan Aykroyd. Actually, it finally took Harold Ramis passing
Mm.
to bring Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and
Ernie Hudson,
Ernie Hudson back together,
including Annie Potts too.
and Annie Potts.
Yeah,
Um,
as Janine,
the
Sigourney Weaver.
yeah, the impact that making that movie had on me was a lot deeper than I thought it would be.
Did you take the
Um,
kids to see it?
I did. I took my oldest because she loves the Ghostbusters franchise. Harper, my 4-year-old's probably a little too young.
Yeah, especially with the terror dogs. Yeah,
Right?
that's
Exactly.
yeah, and Zool and all that jazz. That's way too. I saw Ghostbusters when I was younger, and I never should have seen it at that age. I was like,
Right.
gee, these things give you nightmares. Which,
The library ghost in the first one. That
Mhm.
just the
But it
very
was so funny at the same. He's like, hey, Venkman, get a specimen for me. Ah,
yeah yeah. But
and he's like, hey, you're right. No human being would stack books like this.
but the
The
the other
first
thing
movie is so naturally funny. Like
it
the
is.
it's so I was laughing so like I was laughing hysterically the first 45 minutes of the original film I'm talking about now. I was like, I don't know what they did, but they just like went off the cuff and they were spitting out lines every chance they got, and it works so perfectly for every situation that they're in, including the hotel ballroom scene.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's hilarious. And then you watch the second one, I'm like, these are just friends that are happy to see each other, but I'm not getting like magic vibes like I got in the first one, man. It's just not. It is nowhere near. And by the way, I don't know if anyone agrees with me on this, but I feel like the second one was a lot more tame compared to the first one.
It
It
was.
was so much more tamer to a younger audience, and the first one was made for like adults, whereas the second one's like, oh yeah, we'll get scares here and there, but we're gonna market it towards the young. I'm like, no, man.
Yeah. So
First one is so good, but rest in peace to Ivan Reitman, who passed on at the age of 75. He's got a resume that's over a mile long, which includes Ghostbusters 1, 2, and a producing credit on Ghostbusters Afterlife, along with his son, Jason Reitman,
the
who
original
directed
Space
Ghostbusters.
Jam.
Yeah, what's that?
He was the producer of the original Space Jam.
Almost forgot about that. Yes, Space Jam is a classic, the original, not the sequel.
He was
because the
the
sequel never
producer
happened.
on the Beethoven movies.
That I read about that in an article the other day. I was like, dang, he produced the Beethoven with Charles Grodin films? Get out of here.
He was the producer of the movie Twins
I
with
actually
Danny
liked
DeVito
I
and
like Twins, and I like Kindergarten Cop too.
yep.
You ever
He
notice
was the
that?
producer in the movie Stripes.
Hmm.
And the one that introduced me to Ivan Reitman, and I'm almost ashamed to say that this
Uh-oh.
introduced me to Ivan Reitman, was the glorious Animal House.
I'm a zit. Get it?
Get it?
You are on double secret probation. That's what you're on.
Toga,
You're,
toga,
do you mind if we
toga.
dance with your dates?
Can we dance with the old dates? So
Yo, you know what we gotta do? Toga party.
my parents loved that movie so much that
Really?
the first dog that they had once we
Mm-hmm.
me and my brother left the house
Mm-hmm.
was a bulldog
Really?
named Otis, my man. From that one scene where he walks into the bar and says, Otis, my man, he loves us.
Oh, that's man. Oh, great stories
Yep.
from a person like yourself who grew up on a legacy of films such as Ivan Reitman. So Ivan Reitman, rest in peace,
Yep.
good man. Listen, I'm glad I was able to rewatch Ghostbusters 1 and 2 during the time or before you passed on, because man, that first Ghostbusters film is so good, so
I
good.
don't and I will go out on a limb and say
It's good.
I don't know if anyone will ever have the underlying career that Ivan Reitman had. He was
He did a lot.
he did a lot and
Meatballs, I think, was another one.
he did it quietly.
Yeah.
You
Do you ever
know,
see Evolution?
I did. It was horrible.
Mm,
It's a cult classic, but it was horrible.
yeah.
Pauly Shore, anything with Pauly Shore is horrible. Anyway, except for Son-in-Law.
I
Son-in-Law
was
was
gonna
great.
say, don't diss son-in-law with Kelly Kapowski as a love interest. Come on now. Who else was in that movie? Lane Smith, I think, was in that.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, Lane Smith was Perry White for me in the '90s with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher's Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of freaking Superman. That's one of
Yep.
the best series of the '90s, flat out.
Home Improvement takes that for me. But
Well, yeah, but
anyway,
that's a good one too. But you know what I mean.
yeah, I get you. I get you. So
References.
let's end it here, Ryan. We've been going for a while. We could talk for hours about this, but
Yeah.
we've got a lot we haven't talked about since we've been back. I mean, you haven't seen the crap that was Matrix
Resurrections.
Resurrections. It shouldn't have ever been made. You
I haven't seen Afterlife yet.
Yeah, you need to see Afterlife.
Yeah.
You talked about Boba Fett on your Nerd Culture podcast.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Episode 6, which was basically the Mandalorian.
7.
Was it episode 7?
Well, the last episode that just aired was episode 7. Yeah.
Yeah, no, episode 6 was where
before that.
We saw it was
It was
best.
Mandalorian 2.5, as a lot of people called it on the interwebs, which I can understand the argument. Don't get me wrong, but I still enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett season 1 overall as it is.
Oh, it was great.
I mean, it's Star Wars content, and we are in store for a lot more Star Wars content down the line.
I will say this, Book of Boba Fett episode 6, Mandalorian 2.5, whatever you want to call it, is the best hour of Star Wars we have gotten since Return of the Jedi.
Ooh.
And I'm a huge fan
right there.
of Revenge of the Sith. In fact, I put Revenge of the Sith up there in my top 4 Star Wars movies.
Wow.
Just because of what it sets up and just because of how it ends on Mustafar and that whole scene. Now,
the whole scene where he's like, no.
Yeah, the first hour and a half of that movie, I could take or leave. But just that choreographed fight between Obi-Wan and
there was a lot of
Anakin,
swinging in that sequence.
You will never convince me that it was bad. My buddy Adam has tried for 20 years almost.
Wow.
But I'm a huge Hayden Christensen fan.
My Jedi mind tricks are not going to work on you to forget what happens in episode 3 of because to me it's horrible.
I know that there is a
legion out there that does not like certain elements of the prequels, and believe me, That's a whole other rabbit hole.
But without the prequels, you don't truly understand
You don't get Book
that.
of Boba Fett.
Well, right. Without the prequels, you don't truly understand that Star Wars isn't a Skywalker trilogy.
Or Rebels.
It's an Anakin trilogy.
Mm.
It is truly about Anakin's legacy, not Luke, not Leia, not the Skywalker family. It's Anakin as a whole.
Mm.
And okay, I've said my hot take for the day. All right, so
more than one.
I've had 3 or 4. Ryan,
you've had a lot of shots tonight.
If they want to follow you, what podcast would they listen to, sir?
Yes, sir. First of all, it's great to be back. Second of all, thanks for having me. This has been a blast. You can find me on all forms of social media simply at It's Nerd Culture. I do a show every Saturday at 12 p.m. EST. It's called And I Quote, where I interview content creators of all shapes and sizes. Join us from any and all corners of the nerd universe. And yes, there is going to be a new episode this weekend on Saturday at 12 p.m. EST, interviewing writer Megan Morrison. So that is going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that. A whole lot of things coming your way. It's a new year. The possibilities for everyone here and everyone outside of the studio are endless, because this is your year. You're going to attack it. You're going to own it. It is the year of the tiger. Let's not forget about that. And secondly, for you who may be watching or listening to this, I'm saying this to you specifically. You are so money you don't even know it. You're like a big bear, man.
Would you dare say that they are limitless?
Yes, I would venture to say so.
No, anyway.
Where are you going with
it was a wrestling reference. I forget.
Okay, limitless. Yes, the possibilities are endless, limitless, whatever.
Yes. All right. Anyway, so you can catch up with me. Honestly, the only true podcast I have going on right now is this one, and Top of the World, the DVC podcast, as well as I do a video cast, the Gold Gal Getaways Travel podcast. And if you haven't watched it, it's a lot of fun. I bring some fun, add a little spice to that podcast there, if you will. But as I say every time I end this show, I already talked about it earlier. It is okay to let your geek flag fly, because the world would be a boring place if you were normal. Guys, we love y'all. We will talk to y'all next time. Remember, let it fly.